All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, the plan of the APC is to continue to try to deceive Nigerians with propaganda as they loot the treasury massively. And by the time everyone wakes up to reality, there will be nothing left. Now, according to them, the Dangote refinery cost about $20 billion. And apart from the money that was siphoned by APC chieftains using that refinery, more than 90% of the money that was used to set up that structure was federal government money. But Nigeria said, well, if the aim is to have a refinery that can refine Nigeria's crude oil in Nigeria and sell to citizens of Nigeria at very affordable rates, then no problem. Let them go ahead and siphon money. Let them go ahead and do whatever they want to do. But just get us a refinery that can refine our crude in Nigeria and sell to us cheap. But some of us had our doubts. We can never believe anything APC says until we see it. And the investigative journalist David Hundeyin told Nigerians that there were a lot of untold stories and lies surrounding the Dangote refinery. But APC stooges said he was being mischievous. But only a few hours ago, reports from Bloomberg regarding the Dangote refinery has come as a great shock to many Nigerians. There are several angles to this report, and none of them favors this country. Before I show you that report and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this scary account of Tinubu's 8-month reign. Look at how the papers reported it. 2,423 Nigerians killed, with 1,872 kidnapped under Tinubu presidency. Group. The Nigerian government has been asked to take actionable steps to end the endemic insecurity, mitigate further attacks by kidnap syndicates and terrorist groups, and account for persons missing in these attacks. Addressing a news conference in Abuja on Monday, civil society organizations in Nigeria, under the auspices of Civil Society Joint Action Group, Community of Practice Against Mass Atrocities, and Nigeria Mourns, expressed deep concern over the deteriorating state of security across Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The group says its mass atrocities and fatality tracking across the country by Nigeria Mourns revealed that at least 2,423 people have been killed in mass atrocities-related incidents. At least 1,872 persons abducted between May 29, 2023 to January 26, 2024 under Tinubu. It added that under Buhari's second term alone, 2019 to 2023, at least 24,816 Nigerians lost their lives and at least 15,597 persons were abducted. The group called on Tinubu to urgently fulfill the constitutional imperative of safeguarding the lives of all citizens by declaring a state of emergency on kidnapping and other forms of terrorism. Now you heard that. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. At least 2,423 killed. At least 1,872 abducted. While these figures are outrageous, it is important to know that they are not even the actual figures. The actual figures are far more than this. What a pity. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by Toolawi says, just within 6 months, until we address poverty and unemployment, insecurity will always remain a challenge in Nigeria. Toolawi is actually re-echoing the words of Peter Obi. The terrible economy is one of the chief influences of insecurity. And Oluwatimileyin Gbenga replied by saying, until there is justice too. That is it. The irresponsible acts of the judiciary as regards the 2023 Presidential Election Tribunal is enough to discourage citizens from being law-abiding. And this tweet by Hode says, He is truly continuing from where Buhari stopped. Buhari's own was 67,000 in 8 years. Now competition them they do now. Oh, pathetic. And this tweet by Stella says, that is Tinubu and APC agenda. You can't fault that position. You really can't, because the government cannot say, they cannot bring the perpetrators to book. They can't say that after so many years, we still can't defeat this terrorist. And this tweet here says, Tinubu said clearly that he will continue where Buhari stopped. And he's doing exactly that, from increasing poverty to medical trips and corruption. Chai. And this tweet by Nafisat says, that is the result of fraudulent Muslim ticket. Very selfish. This tweet here says, still counting, and Nigerians are still quiet. Well, I did say at the beginning of this month that I foresee massive protest against government in the course of this 2024. But will that be enough to liberate Nigerians? Time will tell. Now, let us look at the update on Dangote Refinery. Sometime last year, the APC government began telling Nigerians that Dangote Refinery was close to production. And then David Hundeyin came up and tweeted this. He said, next thing they will do is start supplying retailers with imported fuel using their import license. Then you will see news headlines saying Dangote Refinery begins production. If you are familiar with Nigeria, you can see these things coming from 10 miles away. In other words, David Hundeyin was saying they were not going to refine crude in that refinery. That what they would do is that they will go and import fuel the same way other marketers are importing. Then they will start lying that the fuel was refined in Dangote Refinery to cover up for all the monies that have been invested into that refinery that they stole. And few hours ago, this report came out of Bloomberg. Nigeria's giant new oil refinery, Dangote, the largest in Africa, is set to import crude from the US in the coming months. Now, the idea of a local refinery all over the world is to take crude oil from your country and refine it in your country so that your citizens can buy cheap. But in the case of Dangote Refinery, there is crude in his country. He built a refinery with the aim of refining that crude, but now he will be importing crude oil from the US. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. And this tweet by Demagogue says, how can he be importing crude when we have large deposits of it? Make it make sense. This tweet by Oham says, they finally found the narrative to sell to us as to why this long-awaited scam of a refinery will never really work. My bet is that they are going to import refined products. The US, I know, will not sell crude oil to you. They are not daft like our government. Another story loading. And this tweet by Truth Talker says, Nigeria is a failed nation. Aya. And Pibo here says, Dangote should say he wants to import fuel. Stop lying about importation of crude oil. This is the so-called richest man that can't provide a mini refinery. Oh! And this tweet here says, fraud everywhere. APC has mortgaged the future of Nigerian children for 20 years minimum. They have collected the monies for crude oil sale in advance, looted the proceeds, and making the state broke. Now the refinery will import from the US. Who is providing FX for Dangote? This is a shit show. The Naira just started to slide. Fortify your savings. And this tweet here says, this makes a joke of having a refinery. And Iruna here says, Omo, all your predictions always come true. Every time you predict, she's talking about David Hundeyin now. I convinced myself surely it won't get this bad. But in the end, it does. I need to take time off everything related to Nigeria for a while for my mental health. And this tweet here says, David Hundeyin, the man who saw tomorrow. The whole Dangote shenanigans is unfolding as you predicted. And this tweet by Lucas says, ha ha ha, a laughing stock indeed. After too much publicity of Dangote Refinery, the end result is Dangote importing oil. What a scam. Can Nigeria survive this time around? My brother, if you ask me, who I go ask? Now, like I said, there are many angles to this story, but none of the angles favors Nigeria. Number one angle is that there is a possibility that the refinery was just a decoy to embezzle billions of dollars. There is a possibility that there is no refinery with any reasonable capacity to refine anything. The second angle is that Dangote has to import crude oil from US to refine because we have used our crude oil to borrow money ahead. So for the next few years, most of our crude oil belongs to the country that lent us money. So Dangote Refinery can't even get close to what it needs, and the monies we borrowed have been looted by the APC. Isn't that pathetic? And the third angle is oil theft, which is still carried out by politicians and powerful Nigerians. They steal our crude vessels out, refine, and then sell to marketers who bring this fuel back into Nigeria to sell to citizens at exorbitant rates. Now, they are stealing so much under the APC that a local refinery cannot even find crude to refine. What a shame. And what all these will amount to is that even with a local refinery, there won't be a significant reduction in pump price in Nigeria. This can only happen when you have a demonic party like the APC overseeing affairs. And in other news, talks of massive national protests have broken out. It is everywhere online now. Protest is trending, but my counsel to obedience all over Nigeria is that we must be the last to join any protest against the present situation of this country. Let the northerners and the states where APC won, either by hook or by crook, let those states begin the protest with northerners. Obedience are committed to a new and better Nigeria, but we will not be used by anyone, let alone people wey no even get sense. Anyway, make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So, don't go away. Don't